Hello. Hi. It's January 28th, 2022. Friday, the end of the week here, almost the end of the month, and we've got the news ready for you. Let's go ahead and get started, chat, with some sad news. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't structure it this way. But hey, it's the end of gaming culture, as Sega is exiting the arcade business after 56 years. GameIndustry.biz has the story, as the publisher has sold off the remaining 14.9% of shares to Jinda. All arcades will be rebranded as Gigo, or G-I-G, as Gigio, maybe? I don't know. Something like that. They have fully withdrawn all arcade business in the home, or in its home territory of Japan. Very sad time. Very sad time. You might remember back in November 2020, the company sold off 85% of its shares in the Sega Entertainment Division, which handles its arcades, to Jinda for an undisclosed sum. They're now taking the rest of it and rebranding all of the locations. Sad times. But hey, we had some happy times. All right? We had some good times. And that's what matters. That's what matters. The CWA is calling for the SEC to investigate Activision Blizzard, as the union is accusing the publisher of, quote, inaccurate and misleading, end quote, filings about sexual harassment and labor organizing. Not surprising, ultimately. Not surprising. GameIndustry.biz has more on the story. Activision makes a series of statements in its agreement and plan a merger that are clearly contradicted by available evidence and others that omit key information, thus rendering them misleading. According to Shane Larson, the CWA Senior Director of Government Affairs and Policy. We urge the SEC to investigate this claim and take appropriate action to remediate the situation and ensure that readers of Activision's filings have accurate disclosure available as they consider the proposed merger with Microsoft. We'll see what happens. We'll see if the SEC responds. Who could say? Investigation into Ubisoft Singapore has concluded, and they have stated that the reports are handled appropriately. Labor rights body also reports that employee salaries are performance-based following claims of racial pay disparity. Let me just dig into this real quick and make sure that it wasn't someone that Ubisoft hired. It looks like it is a organization known as the Tripartite Alliance for Fair and Progressive Employment Practices, or TAFEP, or TAFEP. GameIndustry.biz has that story if you want to read more about it. The investigation began last summer following reports in July of toxicity and harassment within the studio. There were also claims of racial pay disparity, with local staff paid considerably less, up to $10,000 per year in some instances, than the expats who had moved there from other territories or sister Ubisoft studios. They didn't find anything. A studio director over there by the name of Daryl Long says, quote, "We've put the best practices in place at Ubisoft Singapore to ensure a safe, respectful, inclusive, and equitable workplace for every member of our team. We will continue striving to be an exemplary employer in Singapore and the region, one that attracts and retains the best talents and creates amazing games that enrich the lives of our players. Our next story, also featuring NFT, is that Ubisoft has been announced as a key investor in Frontier, which is an NFT-powered game coming in 2022. GameSpot.com has that story. Frontier tweeted out the news earlier today, with the official Ubisoft account replying shortly afterwards. The project is seeking to utilize Ubisoft's experience in shipping a game to make its own a reality. Many NFT projects have launched on the premise of eventually launching a game for the actual avatars you buy to be used in, but few have made it that far. GameSpot.com reports. The tweet from the Twitter account @MissingFrontier is, "We are now proudly supported by our key investor, Ubisoft. Our game, to be released this year, will massively benefit from their help. Thanks to everyone who believed in us." I don't. Ah! Fuck you, Ubisoft. Oh my God, that was so loud. Holy shit. Oh my God. I didn't know that was going to happen. That's Twitter video. That's not even Ubisoft. I retract my statement about Ubisoft and I say, sir, Twitter video, go fuck yourself if you can still hear me. Oh my God. No. Our next story, holy shit, comes from Video Games Chronicle. Might have to edit that. That might be like, might be bad. Whew. Atari is celebrating its 50th anniversary by combining NFTs with loot boxes. The GFT collection is being created to celebrate its 50th anniversary. The collection is described as containing, quote, giftable NFTs, which initially appear as gift-wrapped boxes with no indication as to what's inside, which Atari says makes them ideal for gifting to others. On a specific date, the NFT will then, quote, unwrap to show various different NFTs based on titles from Atari's 50-year history. Buyers will then find out on that date if their GFTs are common, rare, or epic. According to the collection's website, there's a less than 5% chance a purchaser's NFT will be rare, and a less than 1% chance it'll be epic. The scheme is encouraging people to buy multiple GFTs, promising that anyone who buys 4 or more will unlock the ability to buy a 5th surprise GFT. I'm actually getting more and more upset as I read this story, just so everyone's aware. GFT holders will then be eligible to compete in game competitions, with top scores offering access to special rewards. They'll also have access to a Discord server where they can trade with others, VideoGamesChronicles.com writes. It's also claimed that GFT owners will have access to, quote, more to come in the metaverse, end quote, though there's no explanation as to what exactly this means or Atari's specific definition of the metaverse. Atari CEO Wade Rosen said in a statement, quote, "The Atari brand is synonymous with video games, and video gaming is the backbone of the metaverse. What better way to commemorate Atari's 50th anniversary than by ushering in a new era of technological innovation while also honoring the brand that launched the modern video game industry." Insane. We're not done with NFTs yet, though, as Ubisoft put out a interview from Nicholas Pollard, who is the VP at Ubisoft's Strategic Innovation Labs, basically the man in charge of the NFT project called Quartz over there. And he said that the negative reaction was expected and explained that the players just don't understand it. Doubling down, saying, we know it's not an easy concept to grasp. And also says that Ubisoft will continue with NFTs and their plans for NFTs. Here's the full quote. Finder.com.au says, well, let's talk about making sense of it. What do you think is the big positive that gamers are missing about what NFTs like digits can offer them? He says, I think gamers don't get what a digital secondary market can bring to them. For now, because of the current situation and context of NFTs, gamers really believe it's first destroying the planet and second, just a tool for speculation. But we at Ubisoft are seeing first is the end game. The end game is about giving players the opportunity to resell the items once they're finished with them or they're finished playing the game itself. So it's really for them. It's really beneficial, but they don't get it for now. Also, this is part of a paradigm shift in gaming. Moving from one economic system to another is not easy to handle. There are lots of habits you need to go against, and a lot of your ingrained mindset you have to shift. It takes time. We know that. You can find the full interview at finder.com.au/Ubisoft-interview-NFTs. Tencent has updated QQ with Unreal Engine as the metaverse beckons. There's a new feature called Super QQ Show that launches on QQ, allowing users to socialize and interact as they would in games like Animal Crossing. Epic Game Store put out its year in review, and they're making a shit ton of money over there. Epic also confirms that the weekly free games will continue in 2022, and they shared more plans for the Epic Game Store this year. Just some stats real quick, comparing 2021 to 2020. There was 194 million PC customers in 2021, up from 160 in 2022. And they spent a total of 840 million on the platform, as opposed to 700 million in 2022. It's doing well over there. They're making their money. Last bit of industry news here. Over in the UK, Microsoft is going to cancel inactive Xbox Game Pass subscriptions, as well as putting an end to unexpected auto renewals. The CMA, also known as the Competition and Markets Authority in the UK, states that Microsoft will contact inactive subscribers to gaming services like Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold, serving as a reminder for ongoing payments. With steps to cancel, Microsoft will automatically cancel those subscriptions if users remain inactive. Pro rata refunds will also be available for those who purchase bulk subscriptions moving forward. All in all, not a big deal, not a bad thing. It's very, very good for the consumer, and essentially won't just have shit auto-renew without the consumer knowing beforehand. And they'll also just cancel it if the subscription remains unused. It's good. It's good stuff. Moving on to more game-specific news. The Wrestling Battle Royale Rumbleverse, which had its big debut a couple weeks back, has been delayed with no new release date, as the devs are going to be working on the game. Cool. Great. Need more of it. Ubisoft is shutting down its Battle Royale title Hyperscape, Remember that? When they paid almost the entirety of Twitch to play some BR game for a day, and then no one played it on day 2? I remember. Naughty Dog creative director Sean Escagi put out a quote on the future of Uncharted, probably because the Uncharted collection came out today on PS5. The quote says, I think we can say for certain that we can never say never. Uncharted is a franchise we love, that the studio loves. It's a world we want to see more of. So I can certainly say that. Basically talking about the future of Uncharted. I don't really know what stories they have left to tell in terms of Nathan Drake, but I love that world. I'd love to see more of it in some form, or at least a similar story. There's an interview with From Software's Miyazaki, where he was talking about Elden Ring, as well as difficulty and some other topics. Just some little bits of the interview over at blog.playstation.com. Apparently he loved playing It Takes Two and praises its quality after finishing it only 3 days. And he can also imagine collaborating with another creator again, but he would probably choose someone outside of gaming, just like he did with George R.R. Martin on Elden Ring. Makes sense. In the world of Roblox, the developers and creators earned over $500 million in Roblox during 2021. The company reported a 52% increase in developer exchange fees compared to 2020 as well. In the world of Genshin Impact, players are discovering censored Chinese outfits are permanent story additions. Kind of talked about that as China put out all that news regarding what they want for the future of Genshin Impact. Forbes.com has the post on that from Paul Tassi. If you want to check that out, that's Paultassi. You might recognize that name from his Destiny reporting. Warner Brothers is reiterating that Hogwarts Legacy and Gotham Knights will arrive this year, even though there's no release date for either game. I would expect like a summer and winter release for those, most likely. I don't really know which game is further along, though. I also don't know which game I'm actually more interested in. Evil Dead the Game is now coming out on May 13th, 2022, according to their Twitter account. There was also a big Sea of Thieves 2022 preview event yesterday. It was about a 22-minute video. They announced that they're basically Destiny-ifying that game. They'll have updates throughout the entire year. They're going to try to tell a full-on story. If you're a Sea of Thieves fan, it seems like you got a lot of good content coming up. And they're also removing, I believe, the arena is what it was called, which was kind of their matchmaking PvP. We watched that event on stream if you want to watch it along with an audience. The Oculus VR brand has officially changed names to the MetaQuest. That's right. MetaQuest VR is now the new Twitter account for that whole thing. Oculus is now MetaQuest. New name, same mission, they tweeted out. Oh boy. That Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel PC version of the popular card game downloads have now topped 4 million. The iOS and Android versions are now available in 11 countries as well. Doing very good. That's a lot of downloads. Turns out a lot of people like that Yu-Gi-Oh! Destruction All-Stars, which is a PlayStation title, is getting, quote, substantial changes, and it also may be going free to play. There's a very long update post in the article over at videogameschronicle.com. Hitman 3 came out, or at least was updated in the year 2, year 3, something like that, on PC. It launched the VR version of the game. And let's just say that it was not great. Reception was so bad that IO Interactive has actually announced that anyone who purchased Hitman 3 on Steam through February 19th is entitled to either a free upgrade to the deluxe edition of the game, or the 7 Deadly Sins DLC. You can go over to the IO Interactive Support Zendesk for more information on that, on how you can claim your free upgrade or DLC. Kind of an interesting thing here. I knew this game was coming out. Zenith, the Last City launched. It's a VR MMO, and it's currently a Steam top seller. We might check that out. I don't know where it's at on the top sell list. Let me open up my own Steam store here just to look at that. And it looks like my Steam is just fucked. All right, I won't be doing that. Fantastic. I might check that out though. Seems like it might be kind of fun just to jump in and poke around in before the giant rush. The giant rush for games like Horizon Forbidden West is that game has gone gold. The embargo will be removed on February 14th at 9:01 a.m. CET. I know a lot of content creators have already gotten their copies and are currently playing the game if they aren't going to be streaming it. Pretty excited for that. Over on the Epic Game Store, we should have mentioned this earlier when we were talking about that, but Daemon X Machina is currently free, or Machina is currently for free on the old Epic Game Store. Next week, keep an eye out as Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair will be the free game. Feel free to use code itmeJP as you do check out. And then last in the world of game news, Square Enix is hosting a Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary broadcast later this month on January 31st. We'll see what happens. We'll see what gets announced there. Obviously, a lot of people are hoping and hyping for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, whether it's a screenshot, a teaser, clips, anything. Maybe they're just wanting to talk about that recent visit to the Italian Senate. Who could say? A little bit of random news here to close out JPNN. A Minecraft tournament based on the hit Netflix series Squid Game endured a cyber attack that disrupted the internet in the small country of Andorra. Essentially, people were DDoSed and it shut down the entire internet over in that small country. Really shitty. Don't do shitty things. There's some new footage of the canceled Star Wars 1313 game that leaked. Basically shows Boba Fett chasing someone, perhaps a bounty, through a cityscape. Looks a little bit rough, but you can kind of get a pretty good idea of what that game would have been. That actually looked pretty good. I'd actually be into that. Kind of shame that got canceled, but hey, Respawn's making some more. Maybe one of those happens to be a Mandalorian and/or Boba Fett game. We will see. The co-creator of Mortal Kombat and NetherRealm Studios creative director Ed Boon will be joining the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences Hall of Fame at the DICE Awards next month. Couldn't go to a better guy. Heard so many good stories about how nice Mr. Boon is. And you don't want to piss Boon off, okay? Or Noob Saibot will pay you a visit. Not the greatest thing. You got to watch out. Hello Games took to Twitter sometime in the past 24 hours. I read the thread as they announced they were re-releasing Joe Danger. He talked about it as a parent reached out and held a huge amount of importance to their child. GameIndustry.biz has the full story. You can also go read the Twitter thread on the Sean Murray account, I believe is where it was. But in short, it reads, quote, "As you probably know, children with autism deal with a great many struggles. Chief among them are great difficulty with social interactions. However, one of the things that has enabled Jack, the son, and I, the parent, to bond is our shared love of video games, specifically Joe Danger. Jack loves Joe. As a parent, it's hard to put into words the feeling I get seeing the pure joy on Jack's face as Joe Danger brings, knowing the other struggles he experiences every day. But I can assure you the feeling is a good one. However, as the game was an older title, it eventually became unplayable. After the iOS updates, nor can it be played on new devices as well. So the company decided to re-release it, and you can now grab that game if you would like to. It's a very pretty feel-good story. A good act from Hello Games. Reggie, of course, from former Nintendo notoriety, last name Fizeme, said that, quote, next week, Nintendo announces its financial results through the end of 2021. Included in this information will be lifetime sales results for the Switch. 92.9 million were sold through September 30th, 2021. How will updated numbers compare to lifetime results for the Wii or the original PlayStation? He made a poll for it. Not sure why the fuck Reggie decided to do all that, but hey, good for him. That's also a shit ton of Switches sold. That's a massive amount of Switches sold. And last but not least, a little bit of a rumor here. WindowsCentral.com is reporting that the support studio Certain Affinity is currently developing an Xbox exclusive title that is described as a, quote, Monster Hunter-esque game. It's currently slated for a 2023 reveal with a 2024 release date. And apparently Certain Affinity is developing a brand new Halo Infinite game mode as well, which maybe could be the long-rumored BR. Of course, this is a rumor. WindowsCentral.com has that full story if you do want to check it out. That's going to do it for JPNN. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys are going to enjoy some Pokemon Legends this weekend, maybe some Uncharted Legacy of Thieves, or maybe another game. Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear what you guys are playing. We'd love to have you join us on the channel. We're going to be playing some Last of Us tomorrow, I think. Or not Last of Us. It Takes Two. Sorry. Completely different games. That depends on, though, what the community votes. I think it's between that and Genshin. So come on by the channel. It's either going to be me and Aaron or me and virtual Aaron. I don't know what that means. That's weird. And no, you can't get an NFT of this show. If you weren't aware, also, you can grab this on audio platforms where podcasts are available. We do appreciate everyone who's listening that way. We'd love to have your feedback on the show. Feel free to post it on the YouTube comments or circle on by the stream. Let us know in real time. That'll do it. Thanks so much. And we'll see you on Monday for more JPNN. Have a good one. Bye-bye.